to the PHNX Suns VIP Lounge, brought to you as always by our friends at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcast. It helps us out, and we really appreciate it. I'm Lindsey Smith. That's Gerald Bourguet. And yes, we are in the VIP Lounge because the Phoenix Suns took down the Washington Wizards 95-80. Gerald, how you feeling? I feel like we're in a good spot.
We're in a good place. We're in a great place. That was everything that we could have asked for from the Suns to bounce back. You know, we mentioned it in pregame. Monty had said they were chomping at the bit to get out there. They chomped the hell out of that bit tonight.
Yeah, they really did. They were angry, and they came out with this one with a vengeance. Man, poor Washington Wizards. I kind of felt that at one point in time. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, ugh. I know what it's like to be on that side of things, and I feel sorry for you. Glad it's not us, though.
I don't feel bad for them at all. I enjoyed it.
I know. It was a really good game. It was good to see that we were able to take the starters out so quickly into this one, or early into this one. I know you and I were chatting. It kind of feels like it had been a hot minute since we've been able to take our starters out that early in a game.
Yeah, it had been a while. I was trying to think back off the top of my head as far as like major blowouts where they've been able to sit their starters for basically the whole fourth quarter. I know early in the year they like whopped the Grizzlies, and that was the first one that came to mind, but it's been a while, and it's good because we were talking about this the other day, how, you know, they need to find a way to bring Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges their minutes down heading into the All-Star break with so many guys out of the lineup right now. So this was a really good way to do it. Just beat the shit out of your opponent through three quarters and don't even have to show up for the fourth one, which they literally didn't have to. They could have gone scoreless and still won this game.
They really could have. We'll talk about that fourth quarter here in just a little bit. But before we get into that, let's go to the bar first.
Yes.
Okay.
Tonight's drink of the game. Oh, good one, Shane.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I was wondering
guys.
what was happening.
Even worse. Shots fired from Shane on his first day back.
Oh man,
Is he saying we're the parents
old.
of the show?
He's calling us old.
We're the parents of the show, I guess.
Gosh.
We're ready to
has to be.
After this post game, we'll both be home, ready to go to sleep by 8:30.
Man, you're telling me. It's about that time. Gerald's going to go get tacos and then go home and take a nap.
I'm so mad about that still.
Guys, there's a graphic up.
We got the drink of the night. It's the AMF in honor of adios motherfuckers to the Wizards, because they were not in that game after the second quarter.
The Sun said
so
bye.
Goodbye.
Pretty early on.
Just like Tacos Chihuahua said goodbye to my Postmates order. During halftime. I tried to order tacos during halftime, and they just basically 20 minutes later said, nope, you're not getting your order.
Aww.
So I'm hungry. I'm a little irate about it, but it's fine.
I mean,
this is fine.
Yes, that is for Gerald's
at
comment.
least the Suns won. If the Suns had lost and you didn't get your tacos, then it would be an all-around really bad night, and I feel like you would just need to go to sleep. Start all over again. But thankfully the Suns won, and you can still get tacos on your way home.
Not from there.
Not from there.
Taking my business elsewhere.
Absolutely fair. All right. So we got our drinks. We're ready to go. Let's talk about some of the cool things that happened in tonight's game. One of them being that they held the Wizards to 80 points. So the fewest points scored on the Suns this season. The next number up from that was 89, and the Clippers and the Rockets both were able to do that this season. And that's a cool stat that the Suns just sent out. The first time since March 19th, 2015, they've held an opponent to 80 or fewer points. So
that's incredible. And it's honestly kind of surprising it came in that 2015 season. Must have been before that trade deadline when they shipped everybody out. But no, really incredible defensive effort from the Suns. We talked about this before the game, how Monty had said, you know, that last game against the Hawks, that's not us. We gave up 3 30-point quarters. We don't do that at shoot-around. We got back to some of our defensive principles, and holy shit, did it look like it. Obviously, the Wizards don't have Beal, so they're missing one of their better scorers, but the Wizards have still posted a respectable record without Beal, and Beal's shooting numbers are down, so this was still a really good defensive performance. They had 51 points through 3 quarters. Like, that is insane for an NBA team. That's a halftime score, not a third quarter score. So really great job getting back to basics on that front.
Yeah, and I mean, even though they were without Bradley Beal, like we talked about Kyle Kuzma in the pregame show, he finished with just 9 points. He's had 2 20-point games and a 30-point game in his last 3.
Shane's angrily glaring over the Mac because he missed his bet on the over.
I know, I'm sorry.
He needed
that was
Kuzma
just rubbing like salt in the wound. Sorry, Shane. But yeah, I mean, their highest player tonight, high scoring player tonight was Harrell with 15.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not going to win you games,
No.
especially not against the Phoenix Suns.
No.
And especially not when the Phoenix Suns are coming out with so many different offensive threats.
Mm-hmm.
They had, so tonight, through the 3 quarters, we're going to just call it the 3 quarters.
The
fourth quarter is kind of a wash,
Yeah,
right?
that was garbage time.
Yeah.
We can get rid of that.
So through the 3rd quarter, the Suns shot 48.6% from the field, and they had 5 players in double figures. There was, like I said, a really good mix of offensive contributions tonight.
Yeah, no, it was well balanced. Any game where Devin Booker scores 11 points and you still win by double digits, that's pretty solid. And it was really good to see, we'll talk about this, but just the balanced contributions, yes, but also DA starting them off strong. And he was kind of a key to all that. I'm ignoring Saul's comment from a few seconds ago because he said, sorry I couldn't watch the game and couldn't be on the show. But did someone say Sticks at the 4? No one said that. I mean, he did play minutes at the 4 tonight.
But
That's
no one
why
said that.
No one said. We were ignoring it. We're silencing it, Saul. His minutes at the 4 were fine tonight against a Wizards team that was down by 30. So,
yeah.
Sure. I'm ignoring you, Saul.
Oh, Saul. MCG Blue said Sticks was at the 1 tonight, Saul.
Point Sticks.
Yep, point Sticks. That's what we're going with. That's all we're going with. Yeah. But still, really good outing for the Phoenix Suns. Unfortunate for the Washington Wizards. Great for us. New streak starts today.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be able to have 3 double-digit streaks this season.
That'd be cool.
And maybe some more. I don't know.
I'm curious if a team has ever done that in the same season, 3 double-digit streaks, because I feel like you'd be pushing it just games-wise at that point.
Right.
But
if anybody could do it, it would be the Phoenix Suns.
They're looking like it right now, man. That was a great bounce-back game. I wasn't worried going into this one, but I was curious to see how they respond because they always respond, and at a certain point you're like, okay, at some point like they're gonna have back-to-back bad nights, right? And no, they just come out and
only in December.
Yeah,
but that one didn't count.
Yeah, so
because we're not counting it.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I saw a couple of people on Twitter were like talking about our selections in the pregame show, and they're like, man, I feel bad, like I was kind of selling. Feel bad that I sold my Suns this short with like Suns and Suns by 9. I had Suns by 11. Surprisingly enough, Saul and Espo, who picked like 76 and 300, were the closest to getting this one right.
Yeah, they would have been. Thank God for that 4th quarter making us look more sane, because it took the Wizards dropping 29 in the 4th and all garbage time for us to be close.
Yeah, so that 4th quarter, 10 points scored by the Suns. Like, I guess I don't want to say are we worried, but like no. I would have preferred to have seen a little bit more from those guys in those minutes.
Yeah, it's you want to see those guys be able to produce a little bit in the time that they're given, because it was basically all bench, all 3rd string lineups. Jalen Smith, Ish Wainwright, Justin Jackson, guys like that. But it is what it is. Like that was just a game that at that point I don't think either team cared. Maybe the Suns did a little bit because those guys don't get a lot of minutes on a team like this, but not too concerned about that. Like I said, they could have gone scoreless and they still would have won this game by 5.
I know. Meadow Mike said we didn't even need those 10 points, LMAO.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Who'd have thought? All right, we're going to take a quick break because the moment we've been waiting for since September is finally here. In honor of the big game, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56, is giving new customers 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 and get $280 in free bets if your team wins. Now, if you're not a new customer, you can experience Super Bowl 56 with same-game parlays. As we know, you combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings, it's safe, it's secure, it's reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use that promo code PHNX, and get 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 to get $280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code PHNX at DraftKings Sportsbook. Just a reminder, that is 21 and older only, Arizona only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. All right, speaking of DraftKings, we're going to name our DraftKings King of the Game. And of course, none other than Deandre Ayton. Deandre Ayton finished with 20 points and 16 rebounds. He was 8 of 14 from the field. He went out there and had himself a meal tonight.
Yeah. And he chipped in, I think, 2 steals, 2 assists as well. Just a really good bounce back game. We had talked before the show about how Monty was saying he's expecting him to knock the rust off. He knocked it all the way off tonight. He was dominant in that first half. And, you know, that was kind of what we had been wanting to see, him attacking the offensive glass the way he did. You know, just the effort that it takes on both ends. His conditioning it looked like it was in a much better place tonight after those first 2 games where it seemed like he was still kind of getting his wind back. So that was really good to see. It feels like we're back to dominant DA territory again after just 2 games. Like, I missed like 3 weeks with the ankle sprain. Now he's back. Looks like he's fully back after tonight.
Yeah, it just took a minute to get get his legs back from back underneath him and figure it all out. That was his 111th career double-double, by the way. He's just like a walking double-double. It's funny because, well, I don't think it's as drastic with DA as it is with Devin. Devin, we take advantage. Sometimes it just becomes day-to-day stuff, having a 30-point night. It's like, oh, cool, Devin had a great game. With Deandre, and sometimes I feel like it's the same thing with the double-doubles. And while I don't think there's still so much conversation around Deandre, especially with how JaVale McGee and Bismack Biyombo have been able to play this season. But at the end of the day, I think we just have to take a step back because we haven't given Deandre flowers in a really long time. We do need to give Deandre some flowers because it is certain games where Deandre's presence really does make it's the difference maker.
Yes.
For some of these games. And we have to remind ourselves of that at times.
Yes. And we do have a $2 super chat from Manuel. This is for Shane.
Aww.
See, you won a little bit. LOL.
There we go. I'm getting some money back. Maybe I can eat tonight.
That was a really sweet chat, or super chat.
Maybe he can eat tonight.
That was not really sweet. That felt like it was patronizing.
It felt.
I thought it was like, hey, don't worry, bud. You'll get them next time.
You can get like half of a pity taco with that money. Shane.
You could totally get 2 Jack in the Box tacos.
Oh, yeah. You definitely can.
Yeah.
I think 4. I think there's still 2 for 99 cents. Not that I have been there lately.
I have been there lately, and they're like just under $2.
Really?
So I can get.
Did they do the iTunes thing where they went from like 99 cents to $1.29? Yep. That's bullshit.
Yeah, that is bullshit, Gerald.
I'm upset.
I'm pissed.
Like the $1.25 store.
Jack in the Box. Great tacos if you're impaired.
Josh said DA has the crown but Shane is the real king tonight.
Oh, that's nice.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
So chat, you guys have been really mean to me lately. And I was worried that I was going to get smacked around like a toy tonight for placing my crown again. You guys have been really nice tonight, and unfortunately, I didn't place the crown tonight. That was our new intern, Emma, because once you guys eventually just shit on me for my crown placement again, I was just going to blame it on her. But apparently, you guys can see it. So
Emma coming through with the immediate great crown placement. Shane, that's rough, man.
Oh, man.
Even the chat was like, wow, Shane did a great job with the crown tonight. It wasn't Shane. That's rough.
We love Shane. Shane's our favorite. Don't tell anybody else, but Shane's our favorite.
We love Shane.
Yeah. Leah said Queen Emma. Emma Queen from Josh. Dang, Emma, you're getting love already.
There we go.
Guys.
Must be nice.
Welcome to the PHNX.
Guys, give some love to Shane.
My flowers have been wilted.
Shane is Walmart Emma.
No.
Oh, no.
Manuel said, damn, even when Shane wins, he loses.
You hate to see it.
Bless your heart, Shane. Anyway.
Anyway, we were talking about DA at one point.
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit more about Deandre Ayton and just kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily call it a reminder, but maybe a refresher on just how valuable he really is to this team.
Right. It's been a while. And you look, the great thing about the Suns, and this is something that their centers have been saying all season long, is that it's a great system to set them up for success. If you're a rim rolling big like JaVale McGee, like Bismack Biyombo, even like Jalen Smith when he plays his correct position of the 5, Saul, if you're still watching, you are set up for success because they have 2 great facilitators in the pick and roll, and Devin Booker and Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges and Campaign are both capable of doing it as well. You're going to be set up for success. So it's really cool that McGee and Biyombo have been able to come in and have that success. Right. But at the same time, there's levels to this. Like in a playoff series, you're not going to get by with McGee starting at the 5. You're not going to get by with Bismack starting at the 5. You need DA because he does things at a slightly higher level than these guys. Respected veterans, though they may be, filling their roles very well. It's different, kicking the shit out of the Charlotte Hornets in January versus playing the Milwaukee Bucks in the finals or playing, the Denver Nuggets in the first round, whatever we're talking about here. So DA, yes, it was kind of like a refresher because he's been out for a while, and because with the trade deadline approaching, it's easy to start speculating about stuff and wondering about stuff. His contract situation is still up in the air. This was just kind of another showcase that yes, he's important to what they do on both ends of the floor. You need him, and in the playoffs you're definitely going to need him.
It's also good to get him back now and get him kind of going back to midseason form before next week.
Yes.
When we do face teams like the Bucks.
Right. Yeah. So we've got a back-to-back with the Chicago Bulls and the Philadelphia 76ers, 2 of the top teams in the East. Then they come home, they get a day off, and on Thursday they get the Milwaukee Bucks. So pretty exciting 3-game stretch coming up. But we'll see how they fare. What is it, Shane?
Manuel said knowing Shane, he'd be allergic to any flowers we'd give him. LOL.
Oh, man. They're just coming for you tonight.
Oh, you know what they say. You're always mean to the people you love the most. It's true.
Sure.
You really are. That's why we love you, Shane.
Oh my
it's because
God.
I'm reading the next thing on my page, which is Gerald's tweet. It literally says Gerald's tweet.
Oh, here we go.
So I read out loud Gerald. I'm sorry. But we do have to bring up Gerald's tweet.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I told you guys before this, I actually named this PNG Bad Gerald because he was being a little stinker.
Look.
Read it out loud.
If you've been following me for a while on Twitter, you are aware that I make these puns from time to time. And it had been a while. So I tweeted, great performance from Deandre Ayton tonight. Just needed some time to get back in shape and find his rhythm again. A sort of reconditioning to get back to form. His gestating period, if you will.
And what were the responses like to this one,
Showering me with praise and GIFs and mostly booze.
When you tweeted this out, we were all sitting in here. I think all of us collectively were like, boo, Gerald, boo.
It doesn't have the same effect when you read it out loud. When you come across it in the timeline and you're scrolling, you're like, okay, here's a chunk of actual analysis. There's levels to it.
Levels to your trolls.
You think it's analysis, and then you get to the horrible pun at the end, and that's how I just bring you right in.
This is the girth tweet of the night.
Oh no,
from Mike, and then also said cringeworthy.
Look, if you've been following me on Twitter, you know I make the Deandre Ayton puns.
Yeah.
I have a whole document on my computer with future Ayton puns that I have not used yet.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So it's like you wake up, if you would just have a dream about a pun, you'll wake up, you roll over, and you put it in this
It's literally just a list of words that end in Asian because it started with domination and dominating, and I made it as a joke, and then I just kept doing it, and now I had to brainstorm. You got to do your background. So
how many words would you say you have on there?
There's at least probably 45 words in here.
Okay, and how much time did you spend on this?
I think I just Googled words that end with Asian.
Okay, you found some that would maybe be able to directly correlate to basketball.
Yeah, some of them are stretch, I won't lie, but the gestating period, I felt like I was proud of that one.
Some of them?
Shane, you need to be practicing your crown placement.
Is that your worst one?
No.
Or best?
Probably not.
Depending on
no, it's not my best.
The way you write these?
It's not my best. It's not my worst. I think one of my best was like the second or third time I did it. And people were like, okay, he's starting to do these. And then that one blew up. And I can't remember what it was. But
when did these start? Was it mostly?
It was around the time when he started pushing the dominating nickname.
Okay, so a while ago. Then.
Yeah, it was like a year or two ago.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Gosh, that's so funny. That is just, oh my God.
And since he's our king of the night, our DraftKings king of the night, tonight was his coronating ceremony.
But feel free to send ghost emojis to Gerald on
ghost
Twitter.
Emojis.
So that everyone understands it'll be like our inside jokes. Like that's us booing Gerald, but in a nice way.
Why are you trying to bring up past trauma with the ghost emoji?
What do you mean?
Never mind. We're not here to talk about my dating life.
Let's... Oh no! I was like, what do you mean?
I thought, Gerald, I thought you were
that would have been obvious, but
no,
apparently not.
I thought you were bringing up like you had a really bad haunting as a kid.
I
know.
No! I was like, what? What is happening? No, I like to give you a lot of grief about this, Gerald, but honestly, most of them I find quite amusing. So
thank you.
Continue. Please continue.
I'm going to keep them coming.
Yeah, as you should.
The people need their puns.
Gerald needs a girth emoji, says Manuel.
Oh, he doesn't. No. He doesn't need that.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Gerald, it is time to take your shot presented by Arizona Department of Health Services. So COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older, and those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov for a location near you. Gerald, what is our shot of the night? Yeah,
it was definitely, I think it was first or second quarter, but we had a Suns fast break there, and Mikal Bridges threw quite an ambitious lob to DA, and the way that he was just able to corral this, Mikal's driving, throws it up, and DA just finishes it like it's no big deal. Like it wasn't an alley-oop dunk, but the way that he just kind of glided right into it, threw it off the backboard and in, that really stood out. And in a second half that we didn't really have much action going on, we had to go with the coolest highlight. That was probably it. Yeah, and it was in the first quarter. It was a great way to kind of like get this game kind of going, seeing Deandre kind of feel back to himself and just really highlight the athletic ability that he has. So that was a really fun highlight to see tonight. And just a reminder one more time, COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov for a location near you. So tonight's game felt really short. Probably because it went by so fast. Like in all reality, it was really short. Was there anything else outside of just the general like Suns coming out with a lot of energy and putting this one away early that stood out to you? I think the biggest thing for me, and I don't want to be negative on a night where the Suns, cruise to a 15-point victory, but if you're watching that fourth quarter, and God bless you, I don't blame you if you were not watching that fourth quarter because it was over. It was all bench players. But the Suns, if they have to rely on Elfrid Payton minutes at any point in the playoffs, it's not going to go well for them. It's just not. He, 2 points, 1 of 6, -9 in his 21 minutes. The Suns just need him to be solid. And this wasn't a night where like they needed a lot from him. It doesn't matter. It didn't affect the outcome. But there are going to be games, especially with Landry Shamet and Campaign still out before this All-Star break, where they need him to be solid. Right. He wasn't solid tonight. Monty has repeatedly used that word solid. We just need him to be steady. And he's not been that. Like, he's had a couple of decent shifts lately, but then he'll commit a really bad turnover, or he'll miss a layup, or God forbid, he'll take a 3-pointer and build a side practice facility with that brick. Like, it's just not... It's not good for the Suns if he's playing this way. So Shane, stop laughing. You got Shane on that one. I mean, that you should have known. He wasn't ready. I don't think anybody was ready for that one. But like they just need more from Elfrid Payton, and that is why approaching this trade deadline, it's important for them to consider a potential upgrade. We've talked so much about how we would dread the day that Dario Saric is traded because he's such a likable guy, but like you're this close to a title and Elfrid Payton is your third string point guard. You need an upgrade there, whether it's a guy like an Eric Gordon, a Goran Dragic on the buyout market. Those are just some of the names off the top of my head that like you might be able to rely on more in a playoff series. So I don't want to read too much into 21 minutes off the bench of a blowout game for a third string point guard, but that's one thing that continued to stand out to me is the Elfrid Payton minutes have not been good. They need to be better than what they are.
Do you think now, having seen multiple games with Campaign sidelined and Elfrid Payton a little bit more, is that your number one area of concern moving forward? Because I know we've talked about the guard situation and the wing situation a little bit, kind of like depending on the day.
Right.
But has this kind of swayed you a little bit more to that side?
A little bit. Like we should bear in mind that like in the playoffs, Campaign will be filling those minutes as long as he's healthy. The concern is like, what if something happens to Campaign? We saw in last year's playoff runs, multiple guys go down. Chris Paul gets a stinger. Campaign with his injury. Chris Paul again with the COVID. Like we've had multiple injuries that have arisen over this last playoff run. If that happens again, and you do have to play Elfrid Payton for even 5 to 10 minutes in a playoff game, that's not going to go well for you. So my thing is like Campaign hasn't been reliable for the majority of the season. He's come around over the last month or so, which is encouraging.
Right.
But like he hasn't been at his best. Landry Shamet has been pretty bad, as we've established multiple times, and so has Elfrid Payton. So you need a backup guard who can create their own shot, who can create for others, who can play off the ball, on the ball. Unless Campaign like turns it around and proves that he's going to be reliable again, like you need that guy. So that's why we circle around, Eric Gordon or a Goran Dragic or someone like that, because they have proven that they can do that. In Gordon's case, he's been doing that all season for a very bad Rockets team. So you need a guy like that. And that's why that remains my concern, because even if Shamet's in there, okay, Shamet hasn't been great this season. Even if Campaign's in there, he's been better recently, which is good, but not great all season. So what's up with Girth Vader?
That's funny.
That's, as a Star Wars fan, I appreciate that one.
There you
That's
go.
good.
I know I saw this. Okay, we're going to give you a little story time here.
Okay.
So for the ASU show that Shane is a part of, they are doing this thing like lucky food?
Luck food.
Good luck food.
Yes.
And he was asking us during the game, he's like, hey, what kind of food should we do tonight? And I was like, you should definitely do tacos. He's like, yeah, we haven't done tacos yet. So he texts Sean, who is also on the ASU game. He said, hey, let's do tacos. Pick some up before you come into the studio. Sean messaged him back and says, so like Taco Bell? And I about had a full-on meltdown because
Lindsey was not about it.
Somebody says to you, let's get tacos, and your initial response is Taco Bell. Like, I just want to know, like, who hurt you? Like,
who has never taken you to Taco
you
Boys
in life that your first initial thought when you hear the word taco is Taco Bell? Like, and I love me some Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like come on, my guy, like Sean, like let me help you.
Love
please.
Yourself more.
Yes.
we love you, Sean. Love
first.
yourself too. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with Taco Bell, but like someone take this man to Taco Boys.
Literally, there's so many great places in this town.
We got a family Taco Boys pack. So
do we?
We'll see if that brings us luck.
Oh, hell yeah. There we go.
Josh says, bro, you and AZ and you're getting Taco Bell. Boo this man.
Taco Cabana. Shout out to the 505 back home. Miss me some Taco C.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the Suns. We just had to put that out there. We have to shame Sean a little bit. But like we're gonna lift you up, right? What does Monty say? We're gonna call you up. We're gonna call you up.
I'm not calling you out. I'm calling you up.
Or in one of the two. I don't know. We got to do that to Sean. So a lot of people were talking about Ish Wainwright as well. In his fourth quarter minutes tonight.
Sure.
And throughout the game, you and I were actually having a conversation. You're like, I kind of do hope that the Suns keep Ish.
Yes.
Is that in like pre-trade deadline, post-trade deadline? Does it kind of depend on the situation?
It'll depend on what they do. I love Ish. I've gone on the record as saying he's probably the nicest guy on the Suns roster. He's just a good dude, and he works really hard. You know, it's tough to come in on a two-way contract and win over a hard-working group like this.
Right.
Like, if you don't work hard with this team, you're going to stick out. That's why a guy like Chandler Hutchinson didn't really work out here. But like Ish Wainwright has come in, he's won over that whole locker room. And I think that the importance of Ish Wainwright, it depends on what you do at the trade deadline. But we've talked a lot about Torrey Craig and the Suns' need for that extra wing who can log minutes as a small ball five. The Suns don't really have that outside of Ish Wainwright. They did that the other night with Jay Crowder at the five. And you can do that for a certain stretch, but like they don't have that bona fide small ball five like a Torrey Craig, like a Robert Covington. They don't have that. And Ish showed against the Spurs the other night that he can maybe do it, but that was only one game. So I think if you don't find a player like a Craig at the trade deadline who can fill that role, you do need to keep Ish. You need to convert his contract from a two-way to a full-time contract for the rest of the season, because right now a two-way contract guy is not eligible to play in the playoffs. Right. So he wouldn't be able to suit up for the Suns unless they convert his contract.
Has there ever been a reasoning behind that, or is it any expectation for it to change?
So
is it just a money thing?
I think last year they did change it to where two-way guys could play, but this year there's been no indication that they're doing that. And I think last year it was because of the whole COVID reasoning.
Right. Kind of need just more bodies.
This year I think it might depend on if there's another outbreak around when the playoffs start, because we had our big outbreak period, if you will, around like December, January. It seems like they've kind of gotten past that, the league has, but if, a couple months from now we circle back, there's a new variant, whatever, like maybe we'll see them change the rules. But I just feel like depending on what you do at the trade deadline, if you have that spot, yes, like convert him, give him a spot on the roster. You need a spot dedicated to a small ball five. Dario Saric, if he doesn't come back for the playoffs, you don't have that guy. You have DeAndre Ayton, JaVale McGee, Bismack Biyombo, Frank Kaminsky, and Jalen Smith. That's 5 guys that are traditional centers. You only have 15 spots on a roster. You don't need 5 guys that are traditional centers.
Yeah,
like
that was going to be my follow-up. Like, how concerned are you that now we went from thin to thick? Like, how concerned are you about maybe too many?
It's kind of funny because, like, this happened to the Suns with point guards a few years ago, right? Like, they had too many. They had Eric Bledsoe, Goran Dragic, and Isaiah Thomas. And then for years, Devin Booker was out there running with Isaiah Canaan and and Mike James, guys like that. So now it's the same thing with centers. Like, we went from not having enough to too many. You need to get rid of one of them at least, or trade one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know how the trade deadline is going to shake out. I don't know what the buyout market's going to look like. It's too early to tell, but they do need another shot creator or ball creator, and they need another wing that can log those small ball 5 minutes. Right now, they don't have either one of those things. They have too many centers. Like, they just do.
Well, I guess we'll figure out in the next 5-6 days or so?
Yeah.
It's Thursday is the trade deadline,
I'm about to go on the road for these Chicago-Philly games. I swear to God, that's probably when one of these trades is going to drop.
Definitely. But you know what? You'll be there. You'll be able to get some firsthand responses from the team and keep us updated on kind of their thought processes a little bit, how they're going to approach things, and how they're feeling about everything.
Yeah.
All right. So we have one final topic of the night, and this is our tweet of the night that comes from Simpson. So they shared a photo of a fan who it at least appears that maybe this was at tonight's game, with a sign that says, quote, "Phoenix fans have rock lawns." And meaning, like, everybody who I said it was like, what? Yeah. Rock lawns? Meaning we have gravel in our front yards instead of grass. So, and I just thought this was really funny. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter just having a fun time with this tweet. It's hilarious because it's true.
Yeah, where's the lie?
there is no lie there. But I just, like, is it just really that uncommon everywhere else to not have like desert-ish landscapes?
I mean, my girlfriend is from Minnesota, and so she came out here and she was like making fun of what we call grass because it's like mostly dead patches of like balding grass, basically.
Like a little yellow.
Yeah, it's like
Kinda
yellow
pokey
brown.
if you rolled
Yeah,
on it.
it's not soft at all. It doesn't feel pleasant. So it's, I mean, I guess it's not common, but I've lived in the Southwest my whole life, so you're asking the wrong person.
Same.
Like
Well, I guess I lived in California, so.
Yeah, like in our front yard back home in Albuquerque, we had little patches. We had rocks, but we had little patches of like chopped up bottles of glass that were like, it looked very pretty. It was very sparkly. But then I grew up and I thought back on it, I was like, that was ghetto as shit. We had like splintered glass bottles like in our yard as decoration. I just blew your mind, didn't I?
Explain this just one more time.
So they're like, it's like glass bottles,
Okay.
like chopped up into little tiny shiny pieces and
Chopped?
spread.
Or
I don't
just,
know
like,
how they're
broken?
I wasn't there for the process
Like,
of how they
like shattered glass, basically.
My dad just having me shatter beer bottles in the front yard and calling
Like
it
shattered glass.
landscaping. Yeah, it was like, it wasn't sharp. It was all like not
Okay.
rounded, but it was
So it's
dulled.
kind of like, you know how you see beaches that have like what they call like glass beaches or whatever? It's,
Yeah,
it's soft, but like those are bigger chunks of like that sand.
Yeah, they weren't big. They were like little.
Okay.
They weren't.
And it was all colorful?
It was all colorful. It
How
looked
big
pretty.
of
It
a
was
patch would it be?
Probably like the size of this table. Like there were two patches. There was a circle around our big tree that was in the front yard. It was like a decorative thing, and then there was one near the front.
Okay.
But
I mean,
it's
I'm
like
not mad at
ghetto.
it.
No,
I
it's
feel like
fine.
I could see it.
No, it looked pretty. And like growing up, I was like, wow, our house is cool. We have this shiny glass in the front. And then I grew up and I was like, we have shredded like beer bottles as decorations in our front yard.
Listen, it's a great way to recycle. It's very innovative.
Our landscaping is recycled.
Like, you guys are just looking out for the environment the same way that we here at Phoenix
Sure.
also
Sure.
are. We don't have a choice. We have to look out for the environment because it's very expensive to have really nice grass, especially in your front yard. Like, if you're going to have grass, you want it at least, I would say, in your backyard if you use your whichever,
we have
whichever
grass in the
yard
backyard.
you use the most, you
Yeah.
want your grass back there.
Right.
But like if it's just to look pretty on the front yard, like it is not worth the water bill and just
No.
the usage of water here in Phoenix.
The
So.
rocks are so much easier to tend to. You just pull weeds every now and then, and that's it.
Exactly. I just think this is such a funny tweet because like you're not wrong.
I
but,
can't
like,
even look at
where
it
did
after
they
the
come
glass
from? Like
comment
where
thing.
did she come up with the idea that of this throwing the elbow about this? That's what I want to know. I want to know the backstory. Like she came to a game in Phoenix and was like all this stuff, but I just want to know the backstory. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like
I don't
who
know.
was the person who brainstormed that? I thought it was funny. It's like one of those things that's like funny because it's true.
It is. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. All right, Gerald. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. Guys, I know it was a little bit of a short one, but it's just Gerald and I holding it down tonight. Gerald has some really good articles up on gophnx.com. So if you haven't read those yet, head over there, check it out. If you haven't become a member yet, please consider doing so. We really appreciate your support. We appreciate your support here, night in and night out, hanging out with us before and after games. And of course, if you're listening to this, wherever you listen to your podcast, thanks for always joining us. You can follow me at Lindsey Smith AZ. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourguet, and you can follow the show at PHNX_Suns. Gerald, everyone in the chat is asking for you to yell like Espo, so I think we should close out the show with that.
With my Espo
Yeah,
impersonation.
you do your Espo.
Just remember, the Phoenix Suns are the best team in the NBA. Ahoy hoy.